How's it going? This is Hoiman, and today we're taking a look at S.H.Figuarts Cure Melody figure. And this is pretty much the first figure in the line where the main figure started becoming much more web exclusive, which is a bit annoying because it does increase the prices of the figures quite a bit, even for the main characters. But it's still nice that we're getting PreCure figures nonetheless. So for the front, you have a nice window to see the figure inside. And then the packaging itself is a nice rainbow colored color scheme. For the sides, you have pictures of the figure. And then the top, you have legal stuff for the bottom. And then the back, it just has various pictures of the figure. It looks very nice. And then to open the figure, just lift open the side flap. And then lift open the front cover. And there's the figure all together with her accessories. So first you do get some instructions showing what the figure comes with and how to operate the accessories. So here's the actual figure itself, and although this is a web exclusive figure, this is pretty much where the PreCure line really started to improve in terms of sculpt and articulation. And after the Heart Catch figures, this is the next series in the line, and I'm sure you can already tell, but the quality of the figure has definitely improved quite a bit. The sculpting is a lot more complex, and then the detail is much more present. There's a lot more shading and tones as well. And then the sculpt of the hair is much more accurate to the show as well, and it's just overall much more complex and just overall a big improvement over the older figures. So taking a closer look at the face, I feel that they captured the likeness of the character really well. Looks just like her from all angles, and then really nicely painted on as well. It's very nice and sparkly. And then moving on to her hair, it's a nice matte pink finish, but you have the darker tones and also the lighter shades as well. And then it just really brings out all the details in the strands of the hair and the sculpt. Looks really nice overall. And then you have her iconic pigtails as well. Again, a massive improvement over the older figures. They're much more complex and nicely sculpted. And then all the thin parts at the end are softer material, so you don't have to worry about those breaking. And then you can see how the darker tones and lighter shades continue along the hair as well. And then the back of the hair as well is nicely sculpted. And then the ribbon is a softer material, but it is quite thin at the base, so you have to be careful you don't break that off. Moving down to her outfit, you have the nice crest on her chest. Some nice gold metallic paint. It's very nicely sculpted. And then the ribbons here are quite a solid piece, but they're quite sturdy, so they shouldn't break off too easily. And then moving down to a skirt, it's very nicely sculpted, nice use of colours, and then they're very nice in contrast. And then they even have some darker shades as well to bring out the sculpt. And then it's all sculpted underneath as well. And then down to her legs, they look simple, but for the most part they're very accurate and nicely sculpted. And then down to the ankles, lots of detail here, nice sculpting in the ribbons. And then all the paintwork is very nice and clean for the most part. So for articulation, the neck is on a single ball joint, so she can look down about that much, not really a whole lot, but she can look up quite a bit. And then onto her hair, they are on ball joints, so you can move them up and down as well as twist, and then they're very diverse in how you can pose them. Like I mentioned with the older figures, some of them had problems with the hair because they were solid pieces and really heavy. But for Cure Melody, her hair are solid pieces, but they're kind of a lighter material, so they don't really weigh down her head too much. And then the neck joint is quite stiff as well, so it's not really going to weigh down her head. So it's a nice improvement over the older figures. Moving on to the shoulder, which is probably where my main gripe with the figure is. So it's on a ball joint, and these sleeves are a separate piece. So you can kind of move her arm about however you want, but for the most part they're very restricting. but it is on a hinge, so you can bring her arm out to the side and then also move them forward like so, move them back as well. And like I already said, these are separate piece, but they are quite restricting still. But she does have the bicep swivel, and then she's got the single jointed elbow, and then she's got the ball jointed wrists. The torso is on a single ball joint, so she can lean forward, not really a whole lot due to the sculpt, but she can lean back. But she can lean back very slightly, and then she can lean side to side, not a whole lot, and then can also twist. So for the most part, it's very restricting at the torso. And then for the hips, it's connected by a ball joint at the waist, so you can move her legs about however you like, and then you can also twist. And then each leg is connected by a ball joint. And this is probably one of the quality controls with this figure, is that on my figure in particular, the waist is quite loose. So I can't say if it's for the case for every figure, but it's something to look out for. And then each hip is connected by a ball joint, so she can kick about that much to the side, but because the skirt is a solid piece, it's very restricting. She kick forward about that much, kick back that much. She has the thigh swivel, and then she's got the single jointed knees, and then she's got ball jointed ankle, so you can go back that much, forward that much, you can lean side to side as well as twist. And because this piece is a separate piece, it doesn't really hinder the articulation. So for the most part, she has all the articulation you'd expect the Figuarts to have. And like I already mentioned, it is quite an overall improvement over the older figures. But there are still some quality control issues, such as the loose waist joint and also the restriction in the shoulder joints. But other than that, you should be able to get all the poses that you'd want. Well, that's the figure. Let's take a look at the accessories. So for faces, she comes with a default smiling face, an open mouth happy smiling face, a happy face with her eyes closed, and then an angry shouting face. For hands, she comes with a pair of open palmed hands, and then a rack of hands, 2 fists, open palmed hand, peace hand, hands to hold her weapons, and an opposing styled hand. And then she also comes with this holding hands together, which is to use with Cure Rhythm, so you can do their attack. She comes with her 2 weapons, which are nicely sculpted and detailed. And then the gems here can also be removed. And then each one has a hole at the bottom as well. And that's so that you can connect this extra piece, which is the same handle, but it just has this peg. So you can slot it in like so. And then she comes with this extra neck joint, which is the same joint as a neck, but just without the hinge. And this is to support her head. But like I already showed, the figure can hold up the hair just fine. But it's nice that they included this. And then it also comes with the fairy, which is nicely sculpted and detailed. And then the head is on a ball joint, so you can move it about however you like. And then finally she comes with a display base. So you have a nice details and patterns and also the character's name for the base. And overall I feel that this is an improvement over the old stands, just because this is more of a sturdy and solid stems, so it's able to support the figure much better. So my final thoughts are, overall this is a very nice and accurate representation of the character. And if you're a huge fan of the character or the series, then I do recommend this figure, but keep in mind that this is a web exclusive figure, so the prices is more expensive, and because he's quite an older figure now, the prices has kind of gone up quite a lot over the years. And despite the improvements in terms of sculpt and articulation, she does still have quite a few quality control issues, such as the head easily popping off, and then the waist joint being loose as well, and then they tend to easily pop off as well. So it can be quite finicky and frustrating posing the figure. But again, I can't speak for if that's the case for every figure, but it's just something to look out for. But that's my review. Thank you for watching and enjoy some pictures.